You're wasting your talent, Randy.
So here we are at the next step in my adventure. I now have all the valves out of the head and all of the valve stem seals removed. That's what I'm actually after. Here, we'll take a quick look right here. These old valve stem seals right here, they're dried, brittle, about to fall apart. So before I get on with that, installing the valve stem seals, my valve guides on a couple have some old uh, carbon in them, for lack of a better term, and some of my valve stems aren't nicely. I don't know how well that'll show up on camera, but there's a few little scratches and some hot spots. So I'm going to take a Scotch-Brite pad and polish the valves up, polish up all the valves, get them nice and clean. And a neat trick for old school 350s, a bore brush for a 357 Magnum fits perfectly in the valve stem guide. If you want to clean those out, I'd take some bore cleaner and a 357 Magnum bore brush and clean those valve guides out real good. Polish up all the valve stems real good, because you want these to float in and out really smoothly and with no play. So you don't want to get too aggressive with it. So that's what I'll be doing for the next couple of 3 hours, is polishing valve stems and cleaning valve guides. And then I'll be installing the valve stem seals and starting to put this head back together. So there we are, a quick little update, quick little tip, and thank you for watching. Please stay tuned. Okay, so now we're down to the fun part. Changing out these valve stem seals. Just pop these up. That one almost fell off. The exhaust umbrella valves were deteriorated and just fell away somewhere. They were missing, or most of them were. That one wants to be stubborn. There are those. And what we got here is we take our trusty bore cleaner and a bore brush for a, I believe it's 357 Magnum. Fits that stem diameter just perfectly. Dip that down in the bore cleaner. Let the excess strip off, because we really don't need much. We're just trying to clean the carbon out from inside the guide. Then after I do this, I'll go back through with a bore swab and clean them the rest of the way out. So I just want to hit each one of these. These aren't as bad as the ones on the other head were, on that one. Just go down through and give them all a quick little cleaning. Just trying to get loose there. Yeah, I can still see the swirls down inside my guides. Some of my guides aren't worn out. That's good. It's the same way on the other head. The valve stems, I'll still polish them up really well, make sure they're in good shape. Clean up my valves really good before I go to putting this back together, which I'll record some of that too, me cleaning the valves and the stems. I believe that's just about good on all these. They look pretty good down through there. Yep. So now, take a swap over to my bore pads. Just push each swab through. And I'll use kind of a dirty one on each one first time, then go through with a clean one. Of course, it won't be too dirty, like I'll only use that one on those two. And these are cheap. But they do the job really well. See how filthy that is. Then I'll come back through with a... This is mostly getting that bore cleaner out. And here, it'll focus, is why you want to change those valve stem seals in the head. What this is a bunch of carbon built up on top of the valve. This is one of the intake valves, and it's where oil comes through off of the stem here. From inside the head, it comes in this way and just burns onto the top of the valve. So to get that off, I generally use a scraper and a wire brush. Come in there and just scrape most of that crud just right off of there. But this is why you want to put in new valve stem seals. And if your vehicle smokes a little bit and it smells like burnt oil, this is most likely what you got going on. Now this is an engine that has several 100,000 miles on it. Probably at least 250,000 miles on this truck. It's all been driven hard. Come through and scrape off as much of that as you can. As you can already see, there's a massive difference. Focus. So anyway, then I'll hit it with a wire brush. through and get some more of those particularly bad spots. And I'll do this to one of the other intake valves. Looks like this as well, and it's from those bad valve stem seals. So there's the basic concept of it, and then afterwards I'll take a Scotch-Brite pad and then just make sure that the ends are the rest of the valve is nice and clean and polished. So anyway, that's the basic idea of it. It'll take me a few more minutes of scraping on this one to get it where I want it to be. Get it clean enough to reinstall back into the head. So I'll get all my valves cleaned up. This is the general process that I'll go through on my valves. Get all my valves cleaned up, then I'll install my valve stem seals, because some of those have to be installed. Especially this little seal right here has to be installed once the valve is installed into the head. So there you go. I'm going to keep at this, and please stay tuned.
I can probably live with that for another 250,000 miles. Besides this little bit right here.
Yeah, that's looking a lot better. Focus. But that's looking a lot better. Clean up this junk off the other side. Just about ready to go. Just a touch more clean with a Scotch-Brite pad. Should be good to go. So a quick little video showing the cleaned one versus the not cleaned valve. This is why you want to change those valve stem seals. I know my lighting's piss poor, but tilt this over and then tilt that over. You definitely see the difference in the corrosion buildup and whatnot. That's why you want to change those valve stem seals. So anyway, stay tuned.